prospecting, you're talking to the wrong person. So they have to have a general want, need, and desire for what it is you're offering. They have to have the authority to say yes or no right now, and they also have the ability to pay you, right? So sticking with the real estate example, you can have a 12-year-old that really wants a house, right? But they don't have the authority to buy it. They could be a multimillionaire 12-year-old. They could be like Warren Buffett's son or something, right? He's a billionaire, but he doesn't have the authority to buy the house. You can have someone who is 40 years old. They desperately want to buy a house. They have the authority to say yes or no right now. They're 40. They can sign a contract, right? No big deal. But they're unemployed. They have a 500 credit score, and they have $200 in the bank. They don't have the ability to make a payment. They don't have the ability to buy the house. So if you're a real estate agent and you're pitching that person, and you come to me and you say, man, I can't get over the money thing with this guy. Of what we do is that literally every business in the world, whether they know it or not, has a general want, need, and desire, not for Google reviews. Get off that for a second. But every business in the world has a general want, need, and desire for more positive feedback, right? Or you can even go even broader than that and say more feedback. More feedback from their customers in general. Every business in the world has a want, need, and desire for more feedback from their customers. Now, what we have here, can every person, let's skip, I got to change those around. Let's skip the authority for a second. Can every business in the world afford what we have? Do they have the ability to pay us? Forget about $97 a month. We're giving away a free trial. The $97 a month is on us. We close the deals for you. Does every business in the world have the ability to take something for free? The answer to that question is yes. So general want, need, and desire, they all want more feedback, right? Forget about Google reviews. They all want more feedback, general, okay? Do they have the ability to do a free trial? Yes, every business in the world has the ability to do a free trial. So what's your job really? Really, your job is first to find out who the person is that can make the decision. Because if you can get authority checked off, if you can get the owner of the business on the phone or in person, if you can get the president of the chamber in person or on the phone or in an email or on a Skype call or whatever it is, all the other boxes are checked off. You don't have to worry about qualifying them on money. You don't have to worry about finding the right house for them, right? You don't have to worry about landing them if anyone ever sold cars. You don't have to worry about landing them on a car. You don't have to worry about convincing them about the stock is so great and their earnings and the PE ratio is this. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. They already have the want, need, and desire for the feedback. They already have the ability to pay you. You know that already because you're giving it away for free. All you need to do is find out who the person is that makes the decision, and that's literally all you have to do until you get to the actual selling portion of it. This is prospecting, right? What we're talking about here, this is prospecting. This ain't selling. This is prospecting, okay? Now we're going to start selling stuff. So we have somebody who has a want, need, and desire for what it is we're offering, number one. Number two, they have the authority to say yes or no right now. And number three, they have the ability to make a payment. In our case, it's more positive feedback or more feedback in general. It's a free thing, so they all have the ability to do that. And it's an owner of a company, okay? Now, once I figure that out, what I have to do is I have to hit on two things. There are only two reasons why people buy stuff. I don't care if it's a pack of gum, a pack of cigarettes, if you smoke cigarettes, if you shoot heroin, it's all the same. House, car, boat, whatever. It's all the same. It all fits into these two categories. People buy stuff because they're either trying to increase the experience of their life, or they're trying to increase their status in whatever community they're trying to increase it in. So it could be their town, it could be their family, it could be they're trying to increase the status in their company, right? Why do you think a middle manager makes 120 grand a year? They go in, they get a raise to 140, they trade in the Accord for the BMW 3 Series. Why do they do that? Sure, it's more comfortable. Well, what does that fit into, right? A better experience. You're driving, it's more comfortable, right? More features. What does that fit into? It's more experience, better experience driving the car. But really, are they going for experience, or are they going for what is the coworkers going to say? What are the coworkers going to say when I pull up in the BMW now? Right? The feeling is going to be different. What is the neighbor going to say when they see? What is my family going to say? They're going to think that I'm a big successful guy, right? Why do you think Facebook is so successful? Why do you think Instagram is so successful? It's not about people posting stuff and all. It's about people getting the feeling of experience and status, either through others or through themselves. So what I mean by that is this. People Facebook is like the highlight reel of somebody's life. Somebody said that to me, and I was like, that's the perfect way to explain it. It's like the highlight reel of somebody's life, right? So what people will do is they'll either say, okay, me and my wife hate each other, we're fighting, we're ready to kill each other, the cops are being called, okay, smile, selfie, boom, and then you post it to Facebook. And then you fight again, right? That's what it is. Why? Because you're trying to paint a picture of status. Okay. When I went to a christening last weekend. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you probably saw a couple of the pictures there. I didn't take pictures of me putting the suit on. I didn't take pictures of me walking up to the church with my suit jacket and vest all undone and my tie thrown over my shoulder and like sauce on the bottom of my shirt. I took pictures perfectly in front of the bush with the perfect lighting. Suit all done up, perfect tie right in the middle, everything's why do I do that? Because it demonstrates a specific status that I'm trying to demonstrate. Okay, so these are what we call in the sales business hot buttons. If you've ever sold anything before, you'll hear the manager, if they're training you, right? Find out the hot button of the prospect and jump on it, right? I'm looking to move. I'm looking to buy a house in a different area because I have to drive my daughter to school for like an hour and a half, and it's a freaking nightmare. So I'm looking to move a little bit more west of where I am now. So one of my biggest things is that I really, really want, as you move west on Long Island, property gets smaller. As you move east, it gets bigger. It also gets more expensive out east too. But as you move west, property gets smaller. I want something with I want a yard, like a big yard, like an acre of property. Now, for some of you, that might be like a little yard. But on Long Island, that's like a freaking compound, right? So I want at least an acre of property. I want an in-ground pool. I don't really care about the house so much. I'm more a backyard guy. So if a real estate agent is talking to me and they're showing me all this great stuff about the house, I'm not really too interested. But if they find out that my big thing is I want a big yard so that when my family comes over, I can have a barbecue and I can have an in-ground pool and I can have a place for the dogs to run and I can have all this other stuff. I can shoot pellet guns in my yard. If they find out what my hot buttons are and they jump on that, they're going to be able to sell me a house if it's the right house for me, if I want it, need it, or desire it. Right? If I have the ability to pay for it, if I have the authority to say yes or no, they'll be able to sell it to me if they find out what increases my experience and what increases my status. If they find out those two things and they keep going over and over and over again on those two things, eventually I will say yes to them. It may not be on the first house, it may not be on the first try, but eventually I will say yes to them. So let's go through all this together at one time, and I want you to think about it logically. Okay, and then anybody in here can type in any objection that you want to type in the chat box. So you can open up your microphone and say it, or Scott, you can throw something at me, whatever, however you want to do it. It's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. But I want you to think about it logically, okay? They already know they need the product or service that you have. They already know they need it, okay? Now, we went over the Google review thing specifically, what we offer, right? So every business in the world knows that they want or need or desire feedback from their customers. Every business in the world wants that, right? They want their customers to tell them how they're doing, good or bad. They want feedback from their customers. They already have the money to pay you. We have a free trial, so money never is an issue. It's a free trial, so they already have the money to pay you. They are a decision maker. They can decide right now whether it's a yes or a no. The product or service makes their life better and or easier therefore increasing their experience in life. And number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the product or service makes them more valuable in the community or peer group that they're trying to become more valuable in. So again, let's break this down in what we do, right? Want, need, desire, we already went over. Money, we already went over. Decision making, we already went over. Let's focus on experience. If we go to a chamber of commerce and we give it away for free at the chamber of commerce, right? And like Marcus's chamber, 3 to 39 in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever it is. Do you think that chamber now feels better or worse? It's better, right? The members feel better. Everyone feels better. Now, the specific person that Marcus talked to get that deal done, does that person now feel more valuable in the organization or less valuable? She feels like the king of the world because she brought the company from, or the organization from 3 reviews to 39 reviews. They're getting more members, right? More members are coming to the meet. Everything is better. Everything is better. And she's the one, or he's the one, I think it was a woman that he talked to, but whoever it was, that's the person. The status is increasing on that person. And the status is increasing in the chamber itself, right? So if all these things are checked off, give me a reason why anyone would say no. And I'll give you a hint, there really isn't any. So I'm going to pause this for a second. I'm going to go into the chat, and I'm going to see if anybody has a reason. There isn't any reason. But if you want to shout out a reason, you can. That's fine. But that's how you close 80% of the people you talk to. Hint, 95% of sales is prospecting. If you didn't get that from what I was just talking about. If you talk to the right people, selling stuff is real easy. If you talk to the wrong people, it's a freaking nightmare. That's why most people have a problem, because they're not talking to the right people, right? You try to sell SEO at $3,000 a month, let's say. You have an SEO package, right? These people do it on Warrior Plus all the time. How to sell SEO at $3,000 a month to restaurants. My dude, what are you, an idiot? You're selling a $3,000 SEO package to a pizza place that probably makes 15 grand a month total. That's stupid. They don't have the money to do it. You have to sell a $3,000 package to a company that makes $3 million a year. And they have to have a general want, need, and desire for it. You have to have the decision maker on the phone. You have to know where the experience is, what the hot buttons are, right? Experience and status. You have to hit on those things. You have to get the decision maker on, and you got to be able to close the deal. So again, if there is any way that you guys have any kind of objection to that, or any way anybody can say no to that, then you could put it in the chat box. But again, there really is no objection to it at all. If you check all those off, and with our offer, the top 3 are already checked off. Okay, so with our offer, you don't even have to worry about the top 3. But if you have any reason that you would say no to that, then you could type it in the chat box. But most people don't, because there isn't any way. Yep. And okay, Kent, go ahead. You have one. Go ahead, say it. Give me it. Arnold says no, they are not. Yes, there's no way to say no to it. I'm waiting for you, Kent. So whenever you have it, you can just throw it out there. The other thing too about experience and status, we know what hot buttons work. So when we give you our sales stuff, it's already built in. All this stuff is already built in. So you don't even have to worry about like figuring it out. Usually we tell you to go figure it out, but you don't really even need to do that. All right, so while I'm waiting for Kent, we're just going to run through. Oh, okay, turn my mic on. I'm going to invite you as a presenter. And you should see something pop up on your screen, Kent. And to be honest with you, Kent, I've never been on a webinar where I was a viewer. So I have no idea what you're seeing. I know that sounds crazy, but I never watched one of these in my life. I don't know what you're seeing, but something should pop up on your screen asking for you to join. And then in the middle of your screen, you're going to see 4 icons. It's going to be like a person's head, it looks like almost. It's probably a webcam. Don't click that. In the middle is a microphone, and then there's a screen share. You want to click the microphone, and that will turn your mic on, and make sure you have your mic on if it's a headset or whatever. And then whenever you want to come on, you can. Okay, so Gene says, can you, Scott, are you still there?
I'm right here.
Okay, so Gene's objection, if you guys don't talk on the microphone, Scott just plays your part. That's how we did it last time. It worked really well. Gene says the objection is they're afraid of themselves forgetting to cancel the free trial. So why don't you hit me with that one while this helicopter is going over my house? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but why don't you hit me with that one and then I'll overcome that.
Okay, so the I own a business, and I'm afraid that if I take a free trial, you're just going to bill me.
Yeah, that's the objection. So you can hit me with
I
that.
mean, the last 4 times I was on a free trial, they ended up debiting hitting up my card, and then it took me 4 months of back and forth to get it all straightened out. So I don't know.
That seems like a terrible thing. Who was that with? What were you trying to do with that?
I'm making it up.
I know. Well, go along with it. I'm asking you the question. You tried to do a thing. What was it? Was it something business related? Was it a personal thing? Like what? How did you get yourself in a situation like that?
It was Netflix was one of them.
So do you think Netflix is a valuable thing, like in your personal life? I guess, right? It's not really a business related thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, my girlfriend wanted to watch some movies, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's an awesome service. I love it, and I can't believe that they actually treated you like that. Well, the way that we work is this. Just so maybe I didn't explain it, maybe it wasn't clear when we first talked, and that's my problem. That's my fault, and I apologize about that. But the way that it works is this: it's a 30-day free trial, and at the end of 30 days, it's $97 a month if you're happy with it. If you're not happy with it, you can cancel before then, or you can cancel after that. Is fine as well. But the bottom line is that me and you are going to be talking quite a bit between now and those 30 days. And I can almost guarantee you that you're going to know if you want to keep it or not well before the 30 days are up. So during one of those calls, all you have to do is just let me know, or you could shoot me an email at any time before the 30 days is up and just let me know and we'll cancel it. But it's not one of those things where we're going to sign you up today and I'm never going to talk to you again. It's going to be one of those things where I'm going to sign you up today and you're going to hear from me probably within the next 2 days when we onboard you, and then probably weekly until the 30 days are up, and then weekly after the 30 days are up as well, because we want to make sure that you're actually using the tool correctly and seeing the results that you see. So at any time during those first 30 days, during any one of those conversations, you can just ask for us to cancel, we'll cancel it for you. Does that sound fair?
I guess so, if you put it that way.
Okay, so that deal's done. They don't want to feel obligated. Ken, I'm not really understanding that one. Maybe explain it a little bit more and I'll go into it. I don't want to feel like I'm blowing you off because I'm not. I just don't really understand. They don't want to feel obligated. Because that almost seems like the same thing we just went over. Like they don't want to feel obligated that they have to stay, right? I think that's what you're trying to get at. Ernest says Mr. Slick. Well, it's just logic, really, right? I mean, that's what it is. The reason why, let's go into the reasoning behind that really quickly. The reason why I asked him what it was, and Scott was like, I'm making it up, because he is. We're just like role playing here. But the reason why I asked that is because sometimes they'll say, well, it was an SEO service that I had, and it was a bad experience. And I go a different direction with that, right? What I'll say in that instance is I'll say something like, well, obviously at that point, you believe that SEO was something that was, vital to your company. And then he's going to say, yeah. And I'm going to say, okay, well, what was the first car that you bought? And he's going to say, oh, a 1985 Chevy Camaro. And I'm going to say, okay, do you still have that? And he's going to say, no. And I'm going to say, why? And he's going to say, well, it broke down, or it got slow, or the radiator went, or the engine went. And I said, well, that was probably a bad experience for you, right? Yeah, well, you realize that a car is something that you need in order to live life. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so you didn't let that negative experience in your first car prevent you from buying from the current car that you have now, right? No. All I'm asking you to do is apply the same logic here to this. Don't let the negative experience of the past make your decisions for you today, because you know that this is something that's vital to your business. We already established that. Just like you thought SEO was vital to your business as well, and it probably is. But I don't want you to let that negative experience affect you going forward with this decision. So if he says a business thing, that's the way that you go. If he says a personal thing, you kind of just talk about it for a second and blow it off because it means nothing. That's kind of what I did with the Netflix thing. Is there a way you could send me a private message? Yeah, you could just send it here and nobody will see it. They don't want to feel like they owe me something after 30 days. Okay, Scott, can you do your best with that one? Kent's objection is they don't want to feel like they owe me anything after 30 days.
Well, they don't.
No, I know, but can you just throw me that objection? You're a pizza place, and you don't want to owe me anything after 30 days.
I'm uncomfortable that there's going to be some kind of string attached. I don't want to be bothered with emails. I don't want to be getting any other kind of marketing thing. I'll give it a shot for 30 days, but I don't want it. If I don't want it, I don't ever want to hear from you again ever.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, but see, here's the thing. Like, if you don't want to feel obligated, because that's the objection that he said. So why don't you just say that? Just say exactly what he wrote. He said that he doesn't want to feel obligated.
I don't want to feel obligated after 30 days.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a trial for a reason, kind of like a test drive in a car. Like when you go to test drive a car, you don't feel obligated that you have to buy it, right? You're just testing it out and seeing if you like it. If you like it, maybe you buy it and maybe you don't. But if you don't drive it, you're never going to know. You don't know if you're going to buy a car or not from looking at a brochure. Is that you kind of agree with that or no? You got to get it and drive it first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how about we do this? How about we make it fair for both of us? You don't want to owe me anything, and I get it. But how about we do this? How about you give it a shot for 30 days, and if you don't like it, you cancel it, and you give me a free pizza pie. And then we call it even. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Ken, honestly, that was difficult for me and Scott because you're literally never going to hear that.
Well, I mean, it's
ever.
Yeah. And another thing, look, Kenny, have I mentioned to you lately how many businesses there are in America? Small business. God.
Millions, and there's millions starting every month or whatever.
Right. So if someone is being, excuse my French, but if someone is being a dick, then just Carrie laughed. If someone's being like that, just go to somebody else. I mean, there's so many businesses out there, and listen, if you guys will listen to what we're trying to tell you, if you go to the Chamber of Commerce and you give the platform to the Chamber of Commerce, then you're going to meet your prospects. And who those prospects are going to be are other members of the Chamber of Commerce. So you go in there and you say, hey, my name is Scott. I'm a new member of the Chamber of Commerce. It's very nice to meet you. When you go in like that and then say, hey, I'm here to do something good for our chamber. Take about 5 minutes. You good with that? You're not going to, if you run into a dick who is being mean to you and rude to you at that point, look them straight in the eye and say, thank you very much, and turn around and walk away, because that person is miserable. And there's no reason, with so many other members of the Chamber of Commerce who are going to be delighted to meet you when you go there and you're nice and friendly, if you get, just don't spend time. There's too many people out there who want what we have for us to be in the convincing business. And I've been in sales, commission sales, for 30 years, and I take it a little bit more on a friendly, consultative approach. And the reason I do that is because I want to have a long-term relationship with these people. And I don't have long-term relationships with the dicks of the world. I'm not interested in it because it's too aggravating. Because there's a lot of nice people out there who I can really help, and they'll be grateful and happy to give me $97 a month to help them grow their business. And once I can get my foot in the door with this review tool, I'm going to upsell them up the wazoo with every other digital service that they could use at lower prices than they ever imagined. So I just don't need to be spending a whole lot of time convincing, because in my life, in my experience, in my sales life, the ones that I convinced who actually took it, that I kind of talked into and strong arm, were the first ones to refund or ask for something else, or were a complete pain in the butt forever. So I don't have time at 56 years old. I don't have time. I don't need their business to put up with that aggravation. So you want to get me started on something else?
No, hang on 1 second. First of all, this is why me and Scott work so well together, because we are alike in a lot of ways, but we're exact opposites when it comes to this. We're both great salespeople, but we do it totally differently, totally different ways. Kent, we are not putting you down for anything that you said.
No. We
are not at all. We are not saying that your customer is a dick.
And I'm sorry, Kent.
Listen, Kent, all I'm saying is that with this particular offer, you are never going to hear, I don't want to feel obligated to do it. I'm just saying with this, you're not going to hear that. I'm talking about this offer, right? So if you want to talk general, whatever you were selling that guy, we could go into that specific deal, and I'll work that deal with you right here live on the call. I don't mind. I'm just saying with this particular offer, you're not going to hear that. And the other thing too, for the people that are just experiencing me for the first time, and I probably think Ken is probably one of them, I would literally say, and you could ask Marcus or whoever else is in the group with us, I will literally say to the person, how about you give me a pizza after the 30 days if you feel obligated to? I will literally say that to somebody because that's just the way that I sell stuff. Now, when it comes to people being dicks and not wanting to deal with them, here's my take on it. It's a little different than Scott's. Okay, we do it different ways, and that's why Scott is amazing with the chamber stuff, and I am not so great with the chamber stuff because I like to beat people up. That's just the way that I am because it's the way that I was trained. Kent, I'm not picking on you. You're just the last one to type. Oh, no, actually, Deborah's the last one to type something, so I'm going to use her. Deborah is not going to go 7 follow-ups deep. She's going to lose that deal, and I'm going to get it, not because I'm better than her, but because I'm more persistent than her. And I know that once I close that deal, nobody's going to touch that relationship. It's just a different approach. They both get the job done. It's just a completely different approach. I'm more of a steamroller. I go in there and I just barrel through people. Scott's more of the massager. And that's why we work so well together, because it's the exact opposite approach. And we can, if I'm needed, I can go in and beat the crap out of somebody. If Scott's needed, he can go in there and be, I drive a Ford Ranger. I'm really cool. I'm really nice. And he could do his thing. And I could be the asshole and I could be that guy, right? Or I could just beat somebody up. So again, you're going to get training on both sides of it, and both sides work. It's just a matter of what do you need for that deal. That deal. And in this particular training program, I don't go into me being the Scott side of sales, because I could do that too. Right? It's about adapting to the situation that you're in. I don't go into that side because I have him here. I don't need to, right? If I have to massage somebody, I can massage them, right? If I have an 80-year-old woman on the phone, I'll be the nicest person in the world. And I'll let her smack me around and joke with me. Oh, yeah, whatever. I'll do that to get the deal done. That's no problem. It's about adapting. There's 3 types of salespeople. There's the guy who sounds like he's on coke all day and he's running around screaming and yelling. There's the guy who sounds like he's falling asleep all day. And then there's the person that plays both of those roles. The expert plays both of those roles, depending on the other side of the conversation.
Well, okay? Just so you know, Kenny, I can come across as real nice and warm and fuzzy, but my nickname is the Hammer.
Right. But that's the key. That's the thing. You get the job done. That's the key. A lot of people come across all warm and fuzzy, but then when it comes time to say, sign here,
right,
they don't.
They run away.
Fuzzy, but you actually get the deal done. And that's, with the consultative approach, that's rare. And it just is. It's just rare. Most of the time, consultative people will consultate for 6 hours, and then they're talking about, oh, yeah, I used to live in this area, and my cousin goes to college here. Before you know it, you're talking about your family, your friends, and the business deals off to the side. Scott's consultative approach actually gets them to sign on the dotted line and give the credit card. So it's good. And again, it's just 2 different approaches. They both work. It's just 2 different approaches. I'm a bit of a pit bull myself, Deborah says. Me and you are going to get along. I want to get you on a Monday morning call. I want to get Deborah on a Monday morning call, and I want to just fight with her for an hour. Really. Because I know she'll have fun. And I know, so you guys think I'm being a jerk. I'm not. This is fun for me. I like the argument. That's why I do what I do. I like it. See, the chamber method is great. I would prefer to dial a Yellow Pages though, for me, because I like the bust through somebody's door and, hey, I'm here. I love that. That's what I've been doing my whole life. You know, so chamber method works amazing. It really, really does. And you guys should all do it. You should all follow it. But for me personally, and I am like 1/100th of one, like nobody is like me. It's very, very rare. But I love the cold contact. I love it. I love being told to screw off. I love being hung up on and then calling the guy back right away and saying, no, I think we got disconnected. Maybe there was a thunderstorm rolling through and just going right back through the. I love doing that kind of stuff. And that's just because that's the way that I was trained from the time I was pretty much born. So Lynn would love to stay, but she has to feed her sugar gliders. That's awesome. They have those in the mall around me by Christmas time, around Christmas time. My daughter has wanted one every year since she was like 3. And I'm like, listen, if you get one of those things, I'll sell you on eBay. And I meant it. But yeah, that's cool. Sugar gliders are actually pretty cool. They look like little squirrels with wings. All right, so anyone else have any other questions? Questions? Type them in the box. I think we answered everything that came in so far, right?
Good. And one thing that I wanted to mention too, Kenny.
I think I mentioned the weekly Q&A calls. Is that right? Monday and Thursday? Yeah.
Yeah, Monday and Thursday. And another thing that I wanted to mention as well, I didn't really tell you guys all that much about me. You know about Kenny, but I just want all of you guys to understand where I'm coming from. All right, you guys have stayed on here long enough, and you will never find a group on the internet, in my experience, that are as dedicated to helping you guys succeed as we are. Okay, and no, that's not what we said, Kent. All right, we weren't beating you up, and I apologized if you had taken it that way. It's just the point I was trying to make is if you run into people and it's just too difficult, just move on to someone else. All right,
yeah,
so,
and Ken, you know what? Honestly, Scott, sorry to cut you off, but honestly, if you think that was beating you up, then really, dude, and I'm going to beat you up a little bit more because you need it. Go get a job at Jiffy Lube, man. You're not cut out for it, dude. If you think I just beat you up, then what the hell are you going to do when you call up a pizza place and they're like, Kent, fuck you? What are you going to say? What are you going to do? What are you going to crawl in the corner and cry and suck your thumb? If you can't deal with what I just said, you need to get the fuck out and you need to go somewhere else. Really, go get a 9-to-5 job and do something else where you get vacation time and sick time and everything else. Because what you are hearing is what the real world is like. You are going to go out there and you are going to get punched in the face every single day. That's what building a business is like. It's not the fucking Ty Lopez tour your house that's listed on Zillow that I rent by the day. That's not how business is built. That's how marketing works. Yes, it is. You rent Ferraris to do Facebook videos. Yes, you do. That's how marketing works. But that's not how businesses are built. Businesses are built by getting beat up every single day and having the courage to get up and do it again. It's like being a Navy SEAL. One of my mentors is a retired Navy SEAL. He works on my mind and my body. When you look at my body, he doesn't do a very good job because I'm 150 pounds soaking wet. But the bottom line is that dude spent 6 months of his life getting the snot beat out of him every single day so that at the end of it, he could be the best of the best of the best of the best in the world. And if you can't handle that on day one, you quit and you go do something else. You scrub the ship, you feed the people, whatever. And that's just, dude, now listen, I'm not being a dick. I'm just telling you the truth. If you can't handle what me and Scott just said to you, then you're never going to be able to handle it in the real world when you're out there prospecting people. You're just not going to.
And Ken, I know you've been trying to call, but the audio on Webinar Jam, we for some reason, we haven't been able to get people on. I had to actually do a telephone call and put my phone on speaker to get our testimonial people on. And so I wasn't calling you a dick. I was in the example that I was giving, and I also apologize for it. But I was calling the person that was giving such the objection. If they want to stand on their objection so hard, it's just not worth it to try to convince anybody. Now, right. To try to do the best I can to answer your question is if the guy is afraid that he's going to be charged after 30 days, then don't put a credit card on the deal with that particular guy. If you know him, just say, try it for 30 days, no obligation. We won't sign you up on any kind of a credit card. If this doesn't help you by day 29, then we'll just cut it off. And you know, if you know the guy, you're the one working the relationship with the person you're trying to get the trial from. So, and I apologize if I came across wrong, and I wasn't implying that you were that word. I was just saying that when I run into people, and I'll do a couple of trying to overcome some objections by trying to ask questions, but after a point, I don't have time for it. I'll go find somebody who's ready, wants what I got right away.
Yeah, there's enough low hanging fruit that you don't even have to do that.
So
I do, like I said, I do it because I like it.
And I've read it. I know you've been doing it, Kent. I don't believe that we're attacking you, man. I've apologized to you about 7 times. I wasn't going after you. Trust me, if I was going after you, you'd have known it. I'm trying to help.
I was attacking you.
Okay.
Scott wasn't. I was attacking you, and I was attacking you because that's what you're going to hear when you go out there in the real world. Dude, listen, I'm on your side. I'm not attacking you because I don't like you. I'm not attacking you because I'm trying to like get into it. I'm attacking you because that's what you're going to hear when the oil change guy says that to you, when the oil change owner says that to you. What are you going to respond? What are you going to cry? I mean, if you can't handle what we're saying, we're trying to help you. If you can't handle what your coaches and mentors are going to say to you, then how are you going to handle what the people in the real world are going to say? I mean, come on, listen. I don't know if I hope that you did join or I hope that you didn't. I don't know, because maybe it's what you need. Maybe you do need to come to those Monday morning calls and get beat up a little bit. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. Or maybe you just need to go keep buying stuff.
You want me to call him and let him talk to you?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me call him. Sure, Kent. Hold on, no problem. And we are trying to help. We're not trying to insult you or be mean to you. I promise you.
We are trying to help. Listen, that's how when I broke into my business, that's how it was, man. And I called
hold on.
hundreds of thousands of people, and I get beat up every day.
Okay, here we go.
The way it is.
He's on the phone, Kenny. So there you go.
What's up, Kent?
Hello.
I can't hear him. Kent?
Yeah.
So what's up, man? What's going on? You still haven't got an answer to your question. Give me the exact objection that you heard in the situation that you heard it in.
Objection, and I'm a little on edge now because of the way you've been treating me. But you can say that all you want about how that I'm not qualified or I can't handle it, and I can use language like you've been using. I can get in your face or whatever you want. But what you have not done is answered the genuine question of a basic roofer guy that's not on the internet, and he just simply said, boy, I don't know if I want to feel obligated when we get to the end of this. And I didn't have a really good answer for him, and I was hoping maybe I could get educated on a good answer. The only answers I have heard is tell the guy to go to hell, or you're not doing what you should be doing, so you go to hell. Now, all I asked for was an answer to the question, and that has never been given yet.
Can I ask you a question, Kent?
Sure.
Is there any way that when you get on the phone or when you get in front of a prospect, you can do it with the same passion that you just did that?
Yes.
Can I hear it?
Okay. Do you want to do the role play and be the guy?
I want you to pitch me, because you know what? I guarantee you right now, if you call people or talk to people in a business environment, not saying the same words, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the tone and the pace and the passion. That's what I'm talking about. If you talk to people the same way that you said to me, I can use those words too. I can get in your face too. If you say it that way, you're going to close deals like crazy.
Yep.
This is why I wanted to talk to you, man. Why do you think I beat you up? I beat you up because I want you to come back and say, fuck you too, man. You're a dick. Because if you can talk to me that way and you can use that tone and you can use that pace and you can use that passion in a pitch, you're going to close deals. But you have to be able to translate that into a business environment.
But Kenny, while we're on the phone and addressing this issue, I'm going to say to you, you've done a really piss poor job of setting this up for us to understand how to bring our clients along. After going through all the original information, I went straight out within 2 days and closed a deal. Now, I was pretty rough. I closed the deal. I came back. I looked for some help getting him onboarded. We got him onboarded. And I was looking for information. Now, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And there wasn't any information. And I called Scott and still didn't really get thorough information. So finally, I got the email. Oh, that's what's going to happen. So and I drive truck and I'm 10, 12 hours a day. But a week later, when I got a little opportunity, I went back to the first guy and I said, okay, well, did you get the email? Oh, gee, I don't know if we got it or not. Well, let me go over with you what happens. You're supposed to get this email. You need to set up the link, and then you'll need to ask your people to put in their, if you can give a review and put in the phone number. And he said, well, you never said anything about that. And I said, well, I'm sorry. It's pretty new. I'm just trying to get to it. And I'm here to try to rectify that. Well, if that's the way they're going to operate, I'm not going to do it. So, yeah, I X'd him. He's gone. But you guys did a poor job. Kenny, you did a poor job of taking care of that necessary part.
Well, I didn't even talk to the guy. So
That's how to bring him on.
Okay.
And
Well, first of all,
today was the first time I heard anything about the call in the second day, the call weekly. Nobody ever said anything about that and how you should handle that.
okay.
Makes sense to do it.
First of all, I never talked to the guy. Second of all, if the guy doesn't feel obligated to ask for the person's phone number and email address, he's not going to use the tool. And if he's not going to use the tool, he's not going to get results. And if he's not going to get results, he's not going to stay on as a client. So that's not really, and I'm not beating you up. I'm not being, if he's not going to use the tool, he's not going to get results. And if he's not going to get the result, he's not going to pay for it. So that's just not
represents his opinion of the quality of the kind of service that he was expecting to get. I'm talking about what we're doing to inspire confidence. I'm not talking about somebody not having an ability to understand what's going on. We failed him.
Right. Well, but
okay,
I get it.
He doesn't want to work with somebody who fails him.
Right. I get it. But you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that he said once he learned about putting the email address in and the phone number, he said, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." That's what you said, right?
Correct.
Okay. My only point is that if he's not going to do that, whether it's us calling him or whatever, if he's not going to do that, he's not going to use the tool.
Had I told him at the beginning, being knowledgeable, because I wasn't, but had I told him at the beginning, here's how it works, then he would have recognized and said, okay, that's doable. But when I come back a week later and say, well, here's what should have happened, he's going like, well, you never said anything about that. So I'm still addressing it to you, Kenny, is that is a hole in the program, and now I see that it looks like somewhat it's been fixed. But come on, man. When I raise a question, I'm not trying to make mud in the system. What I'm trying to do is get a genuine answer, and boy, did I get beat up looking for a genuine answer.
No, you got a genuine answer.
And I don't like it.
That's fine. You don't have to like it. You got a genuine answer, because that's what I would say to somebody if they said what you said in the chat box, which is, I don't want to feel obligated. You didn't go into the fact that he doesn't want to put names and email addresses and everything else into the system. That's a different thing. You said the text is. You said
two different people.
Okay. I was answering the question that you put in, which is, I don't feel obligated. And I gave you an honest answer as I would say it to the prospect. If you don't like the way I say it, then say something different. That's the way that I would respond to that. And I'm not going to tell you anything different. I'm going to tell you the way that I would handle it if somebody said to me, I don't feel obligated. That's why every time I do this, I have somebody else give me the objection and I overcome it. I don't just make it up myself. I have somebody else say, Scott, say the objection, and then I do it as I'm doing it in real time. What you wrote was, I don't want to feel obligated. You didn't write, I don't want to put names and email addresses in the form. That's a different discussion.
Again, you're mixing it up. Okay, I don't know where to get through to this. The real objection that I had was he didn't want to feel obligated.
Okay.
That was addressed in 2 different ways. One, that he was a dick for being, that he was some kind of going to be a troublemaker and all that stuff down the road, or that you tried to change the objection into something that was unreasonable. Either way, you never addressed the genuine question that he raised. Now, after a whole
but
lot
I did
of
though. But no, hold on though. But I did address it. I don't know if you were listening or not, but I did address it. I did address it, and I addressed it by joking around with him and lightening up the conversation by pretending he was a pizza place because I didn't know what the prospect was because you didn't give me that information. And I was lightheartedly joking around with him, and I said, I get you don't want to feel obligated. I get it. It's a 30-day free trial. You can call and cancel anytime you want. We're going to talk to you throughout the whole entire thing. And listen, how about we do this? At the end of it, if you want to give me a little bit of something, you can give me a pizza pie. How does that sound? Lightheartedly, and that's how I would respond to somebody if they said, I don't want to feel obligated. Listen, if you want me to go buy a book at Borders Books and read you sales objections that I don't use, I could do that. But that's what I would say to someone if they say, I don't want to feel obligated. That's exactly what I would say.
Okay, well, we went through an awfully lot of unnecessary dialogue here when
I don't think so. Scott's point was that if somebody's giving you a hard time, there's low-hanging fruit that you can go after. My point is that you should battle them and try to get the deal done.
I totally understand that. Raising the question, you kept seemingly challenging us to come up with something that would be an objection, and the guy actually objected that way, and twice you told me that I would never hear that.
After I answered the objection.
So you're calling me an idiot.
I never called you an idiot. After I answered the objection, I said you would never hear that. Now, if you heard it once, that's a different story. If you hear it 150 times out of 1,000 calls, then we have a little bit of a problem that we need to address. You heard it on one call from one prospect.
Yep, that's right. Anyway,
I mean, does that sound crazy, right? If I write one email and somebody doesn't reply, is the email bad? Or should I try it on 1,000 people first? And then decide if it's bad or not. And I'm not saying your objection is not valid, but I answered it.
Trying to ask me a rhetorical question as an answer to the objection I raised. I'm not the one on your end.
I already answered the objection 18 times.
You asked for the objection. I gave it to you, and
it was overcame. And it was overcame. The objection was answered.
So we certainly got into a lot of other stuff.
Well, we got into other stuff because we're trying to prove a point to everybody, not just you, that you could answer objections. That's my way of going about it. I like doing that. I like when somebody says, I don't want to feel obligated or whatever they say, and I like getting into that argument because that's what I've done my whole life. But Scott's point was that there's so many businesses out there that if someone's really giving you a hard time, you could just hang up and move on to somebody else or go to another office or however you're contacting them. And to the point where the guy's not going to put in their phone number and all that stuff, if that's the case, there's no point in arguing with that guy about it when there's so many other businesses out there that you can go after. That was Scott's point.
Arguing with you that I lost a customer because the training wasn't accurate and complete.
So how was the training not accurate and complete?
Because
I never spoke to your customer, so I don't know. You're blaming me for it. I never talked to the guy. I never even knew you were in the program. I thought you were here to buy it. I didn't even know you were in it. You were never on any of my Monday morning calls. I don't go to the Thursday ones.
He works, Kenny, to where he couldn't be.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you know, I've never talked to you before, so I don't know.
I drive a truck 10 to 12 hours a day. I am busting my butt to try to get something so I can get out of that truck. I can't just jump on a call at any whim. I get a chance every now and then to stop and wait for a load. I get on the phone and call prospects.
All right, that's good. But Ken, how am I supposed to know that, though? I don't know that. How am I supposed to know that? I'm supposed to know that Kent got a prospect who has a guy who won't put names and email addresses in the form. I don't know that.
You're supposed to know that, but you weren't supposed to accuse me of not being on your damn calls just because I was some lazy butt out here.
Never said that. I just said I never saw you on the calls.
That's the way you implied it.
Well, you're assuming stuff. I just said I don't know anything about you. I never heard anything about you. I never heard from any of your prospects. I never talked to any of your prospects, and you're sitting here blaming me for not closing a deal when I never spoke to the guy.
I'm still not blaming you for not closing the deal. I'm blaming you for a loss because the training was not accurate and complete.
Okay, what was not accurate and complete about the training?
Going to something else instead of addressing that real question.
Okay,
and that
so
is
the real question. No, the real question. Okay, the real question now is the training is not complete. What is not complete about the training?
Okay, I've gone over this, but carefully I'll do it again.
Okay.
We did not get training on what to do when a person says yes. Sure, we fill out the form, we submit the form. That part was in there, but we did not have anything about on day 2, you go back and check to make sure that they're getting set up. They're going to get an email. We didn't get anything in the training about getting an email.
Can I tell you why, Kent?
We didn't get any training about what to do to explain to them what was going to happen.
Right. Can I just tell you why you didn't get that training? You're right. But can I tell you why you don't get that training? The answer to your question as to why you don't get that training is because that's not your job. We do that. You don't need to.
Jay said that I was supposed to go in on day 2 and make sure they got set up right, and then call them every week.
When did I say that?
No.
Our team does that, not you. Our team does that. You don't do that.
Kent, if we have made attempts to call people and we can't get them on the phone, that is the reason that we have added in the onboarding form for our members to set up the time that the decision maker agrees to get on the phone with us. And we didn't know when we first started this every single thing that we needed to cover until we started doing it, because nobody's ever done this before. We're the first or the second done with you program on the internet that I found anywhere. So there are, and I'll be the first to admit, we don't know everything. We're in the process of finding out what we need to do better on a daily basis, and we're committed to doing that. That's why we have in the onboarding form now a place for our members to schedule the onboarding call, because we were getting a lot of people who we couldn't get on the phone. We're making the calls. We're trying our best to be able to get in touch with these people, and Mr. Roofer guy doesn't want to answer his phone. So
right, but
now,
Ken, I just want to, just so you understand. All right, I don't care about anybody else in the room right now. Obviously, Scott, I love to death, but the only person I'm talking to you right now is you. Just so you understand, and we're all on the same page. The reason why you don't get training for those things is because that's not what you do. That's what we do. Now, I understand where you got a little confused when we were going through the rebuttals before, and I said, I'm going to call you next week. I'm going to call you. The reason why I was saying I'm going to call you then is because I'm a co-founder of the company, and if it's my client, I'm going to call the guy, right? In your situation, you're going to say, we'll call you, or they'll call, whatever. right? Because we're going to be the ones following up with them. I was saying it as if I were making the call. That's how I do my role playing, as if I'm doing it. And I try to make it as real as possible. So the reason why you don't get that training is because you don't do that. We do. It's done for you fulfillment and done for you sales. We handle all that stuff for you. So that's why you're not taught it. And so I'm sorry if that was confusing, but I just want to make sure you're clear with that.
Well, that is a good thing to be clear on, but it didn't happen.
But what didn't happen, though? I don't understand what didn't happen. The client didn't get called?
Okay. The guy we're talking about right now is a tire shop. Okay? Like I say, 2 days after we got started,
right,
I needed a pair of tires. So I went down to the tire shop, bought a pair of tires. I knew the owner. He walked in. I said, I've talked to you a little bit about some stuff in the past, but I got something that's really interesting. And, of course, I was really rough because I had not memorized any script or done anything. I just knew the gist of what we were doing.
Right.
And I said, look, we've got this deal. We can get you more reviews. I know you're not in the 3-pack and you're not on the first page of Google. I can help you. And he said to me, he says, well, what is it? And I says, well, it's a simple program that'll get you more reviews. I don't have a lot of details with me, but I'm sure we can help you. I said, well, does it sound like something we could go ahead and do? And he says, yeah. And I says, okay, let me call Josh on Monday morning because it was late Friday. I said, let me call Josh and get the details down and we'll get you started. And he said, okay. So Monday I called Josh and got all the details for the onboarding form. Okay. So I submitted it. Then a couple of days later, I got the email about what was supposed to happen. And I was thinking, man, I didn't prep them in any way on what was expected, what was going to happen, how it was going to work, because I hadn't been trained on it. Okay. Right. So a week later, I went back in. I said to him, and the guy came out and met me at my car. And he says, and I says, well, did you get a call? No. Did you get an email? I don't think so. Well, you should have gotten an email that said thus and so about how you get this set up. Oh, well, you didn't tell us anything about that when you were in here the first time. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you, but this is how it works. Well, it doesn't sound to me like an outfit that it's going to take care of us with this, because now you're saying that we should have gotten stuff that we didn't get. Okay, so I'm just saying to you, it's no skin off my nose. I learned a lot with a big mistake here. But what I'm trying to say is that you continually seem to take the attitude that the whole system is impeccably easy and without flaw, and all you have to do is just give something away and everybody's going to join, and it's not quite that simple. We need to know the details, and there are holes, and Scott's correct. We're learning how this goes, but when I got attacked for trying to do stuff, you got my ire up, and I'm venting my issues that it isn't all what was cracked up to be. Okay, so let's get on with it and make it work, and we're going to have a successful deal out of it. But don't treat me like I'm some kind of idiot out here because I raised an objection that didn't set well with you guys.
No, but see, this is where we have a problem, because I was going with you the whole time. This is where we have a problem. You raised an objection that was answered effectively. Okay? I was going with you the whole time, and I was actually going to say to you, which I'm not going to say now, but I was going to say to you that I was going to call that guy, close that deal for you, and give it to him for free, and I would pay for his account. But I'm not going to do that now, because you're just misleading people. The objection that you brought up was answered. I answered it in the way that I would answer the objection if the call was on my line. If you don't like the way that I answered the objection, that's fine. But I've been selling for 27 years, and that's the way that I would answer that objection. So don't say it wasn't answered. It was answered, and it was answered well. Now, if the guy wasn't called or the guy wasn't emailed or whatever, I don't know what to tell. I don't. That's not what I do, so I don't know anything about that. I never talked to the guy. I never approached it. I never even heard of the deal before, to be honest with you, because that's not what I do. All right. But if that was a problem, then we can look into it and we can fix it. But yes.
And that's where I can like to chime in, is that when we originally had the onboarding forms, we did not anticipate that we were going to have as much difficulty when we made the welcome calls in getting in touch with the decision makers. So because this has never been done before and we didn't know what we didn't know, one of the problems that we had uncovered is that we need our members to schedule the welcome call. And now on the onboarding form, we have a box where when you click it, it's going to set up the call calendar for Buddy to be able to make the welcome calls that the decision maker says, this is the time that I will commit to doing it. And again,
I think that's an excellent addition.
Yeah, and Kent, I apologize that we didn't know that in advance. And if we had, then you wouldn't have experienced what you did. And I apologize for that. But we've put things in place now so that will not happen in the future.
Well, it's not necessarily that it won't happen, because even if they schedule, they're not necessarily going to honor
that is the absolute truth as well. So, and I appreciate you recognizing that might be something. And I'll be honest with you guys, that's one of the biggest things that we have on our end when we get a client onboarded. Then being able to communicate with the decision maker is not as easy as it sounds if you just write it down on paper. Actually getting these people on the phone and talking to them is part of the fun. So, but again, we're all trying to learn where the holes are and then see if we can plug them. And I appreciate you coming on and bringing up your objection. And I apologize if I assumed in error and answered something that you weren't really asking.
Yeah, and me too. I apologize too. I was just answering what was written in the chat, and I know.
Yeah, and that's awful hard.
It is.
It's awfully hard for us to be able to understand exactly what's intended or meant when we've got just a little bit to read in a chat box.
And that's literally that's what we saw. And I even said I don't really understand what you're trying to get at there, so maybe explain a little bit more. But we just went with whatever we saw. And the other thing too, and Kent, I'm not beating you up. I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest. Again, this is also why we can't just give away 2 or 3 trials and cross our fingers and hope and pray. This is why we have to be prospecting every single day. And I know we all have, you got a job, you got to do your thing. I get that, but we can't just go and give away a free trial and then bank on that one deal working. And if it doesn't, then say, oh, the whole thing doesn't work because my one try didn't work. If you had 100 trials and 95 of them didn't work, then that would be a different story.
There's no way that I implied that. I want to keep it straight to the example that I am not in any way trying to say that it's, a deal killer for the whole system. It just, I was explaining what did happen.
What happened.
Now,
and I hope that everyone that's on the call can also realize that we're not shirking from any of the quote unquote tough kinds of things that come up, because this is the real world and we're in this together, and we're not trying to discount and shy away from answering Kent. We brought him on the phone to deal with it because we want to try to help him. And I am deeply appreciative because I feel like that in return, he's also trying to do what he can to help us know what's going on so we can be better at our end. And so I hope you guys that are on the phone that have not joined yet can appreciate that we're being completely transparent. And this is what you're going to get if you join us. we're all in this together, and we're going to do the very best we can and learn as we go to make things better for everybody as we go.
Yeah, and there's nobody that that does that. Like that, what we just did. And I know, Kent, you're still on, but like there's nobody that would bring somebody on like that after. I know you guys didn't see what Kent wrote. He wasn't like being a jerk or anything, but like nobody on a webinar would open up that line and start talking to that guy. Nobody does that. But, you know, it is what it is. Kent has a problem, and we're going to work with him and try to fix it. And that's just the way it is. And I do want to, if that tire shop guy is still open to hear about what we have to offer, I'll help you with everything that I got to try to get that deal done. I have no problem doing that. But the bottom line is that you just got to get as many trials as you possibly can. I know you work a full-time job and it's really, really tough. I get it. You're doing everything you can, and I'm willing to help you as much as I possibly can. But the only thing that I can say.
Information on the tire.
Yeah. I can get that to Kenny, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, let's get it, and let's. I mean, if he's open
in my account.
Yeah, Kent. Yeah, I know Kent William. I know.
Yeah, if he's open to hearing about it again, then we'll be more than happy to do that. I mean, that's not an issue at all. And I hope we're clear too on the training part of it. Is that more? Do you understand that a little bit better? Like why we don't include all that stuff?
Well, not entirely clear, because there's an awful lot of what appears to be upsells coming down the line that I think I have an idea, but there's still a lot of mystery to it as to when things happen, how they're approached, what do I need to know about it or not need to know. We're going to run into things where somebody's going to make an objection that, I didn't need that service, and here they're trying to sell it to me. What are they trying to do? All these I'm just trying to imagine the kinds of things that we're going to run into, and I suppose that's what you're trying to do too, is imagine them. But I don't know that we've got the definitive on just how all that's going to work out, and how it's going to play, because it'd sure be nice to know a little better about, what these upsells are, how they work, and maybe there are other upsells that I could be or should be providing if I wanted to.
Kent, I can answer that for you very simply. And
let me just say one thing real quick, Scott, and then you can do it as well. When we talk about like what we should be like thinking about what the objections are going to be and stuff like that, I'm just being honest with you again. Scott may have a different answer. I don't do that at all. What I do is I go out and I pitch video marketing to 1,000 people, and I keep a list of what the objections are, and then I figure out what I need to. I need real data. I don't want to just try to think about what they might say. I want real data so that I can come up with real solutions on how to overcome it. So honestly, I'm not thinking about what they might say about video marketing or press releases or whatever a month from now. I'm going to go out and pitch that first, and then figure out what the real data is, and then come up with rebuttal sequences to overcome the real stuff. Just so we're clear on it, just so you understand what's coming up later.
Right. And Kent, the review tool, you go out, you give it away, we fulfill, and we stay in contact with them as much as we can during the month, and we call to close that deal for you. All right, then let's say that the tire guy, instead of not liking us, that he loved the review tool, and then he's your client. You go into and he's on, and you keep going and seeing him when you can. It's your account. You're the account manager. You go by there one day and say, hey, you're not in the 3-pack. Would you like to do something to help get yourself moved in that direction? And the way that that's going to happen is, one thing is you need to provide Google with some relevant content that they see every month that you're putting out there about your company, and I can help you with that. All right, if he's open to that at that point, we are a digital services wholesaler. So you go into the member area, you find our video marketing, he agrees to it, he wants to buy it, and it is $197 a month. He agrees to it. You go into your member area, you order it for $97. So when he pays you $197, you buy it from us for $97. We're the wholesaler. You're the person out there that is managing your account If you want an upsell to happen, you go share the other services that we have. And if that customer wants it, then we deliver it for you at a wholesale cost lower than anything that's out there on the market. We're delivering 48 videos for $97 for you guys. And the market price right now is $197 per video. So
Yeah.
Apple's
Okay, so I think I get it, but that is not what was being talked about as you guys contacting them and closing the deal. So what you just said to me is I contact them, see if they're interested
on the initial review tool sale, we will fulfill and we will call to close. But once you have an established client, then if you guys want us to go upselling them, we'll keep all the money. If we're going to have to do it, because I'm going to have to hire extra staff to do that. But if you are the account manager, if you're the have digital
Scott, you're cutting out a lot.
services at wholesale prices, then
Well, Scott's cutting out a lot, and with that, Kent is also cutting out because Kent is in on the phone with Scott, and that's how we're getting his thing. And so while we're waiting for them to come back, they didn't leave; they're just cutting out. So I'm living in a French-speaking region. It looks like if I find prospects that only speak French, will you have problems with those deals? Actually, you're kind of lucky, because French is the only other language that we're in. We have another person, I don't know if you live in France or not, but we have another person that is actually in France that does this as well. And we had the whole entire thing just for that one person, by the way. We had that one, for that one person, we had the whole thing translated into French. So if you're in a French-speaking region, then you should be good to go. And I think you said you were from Canada, right? Which is kind of cool. To improve reaching the decision maker for onboarding, how about placing a monetary value on and stressing the value as one-time chance? Oh, I think they're back. I was just answering some questions. Well, you guys cut out there for a little bit. I was just answering some questions.
Kenny, you still there? Did you get kicked off?
No, I'm here. I'm here. You guys cut out. I was just answering a couple of questions because we didn't hear anything that went on for the past like 2 minutes or so.
Okay, no problem. Well, he hung up and he's good, and I appreciate you taking the time to help work that out.
Yeah, we don't shy away. I like Kent. Nope. Kent's a good dude. Nothing wrong with Kent. But see, you know what the thing is though too? Here, this is important, and this is not something that we talked about with Kent. Maybe we should have. If you listen to what happened with Kent, that whole entire thing, the reason why that happened was because and this is not his fault. This is just that I'm like deathly afraid to say anything now, but this is not his fault. But he typed out a question, and we didn't really get the whole thing, right? So the reason why I'm bringing that up is not because Kent shouldn't have typed out a question. We asked for that. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because that's why when you're sending out emails, you're not getting replies. Or when you're sending out text messages, you're not getting replies. That's why you have to actually talk to people, because communication, tonality matters, and what you say actually matters. So if Kent would have came on the call, and he couldn't because Webinar Jam sucks, so he couldn't come on the call, but if he could have just spoken to us about that, again, not his fault, our fault, because Webinar Jam sucks, but if he could have just actually said the actual objection to us, we would have answered it, and it would have been perfectly fine. But the reason why we couldn't do that is because Webinar Jam sucks. That's our fault because we use it. But again, you know, that's why sometimes when you write something, it doesn't come across as if it really should. And that's a problem when you're selling stuff or addressing objections. Scott, I don't know if you're still there or you might have came off. Oh, okay, okay. Making it clear, this is the one and only chance and should keep them on their toes and get on focus with that call. Yeah, that's a good idea. The bottom line, though, is that, you know, leads are leads. And no matter how much you spend for leads, or no matter what you do for them, or no matter how many you submit, some of them are going to be not good. Some of them are not going to answer. Some of them are not going to pick up the phone. Some of them are going to give you a wrong number. Some are going to give you bad information, whatever it is. That's why I stress the fact that you have to give away free trials. That's your only job. Give away free trials. Don't give away one and then go out for a $3,000 dinner. Give away free trials over and over and over and over again. There's no reason why everyone in this group can't give away 10 free trials a day, because the one you give away is not going to work. I guarantee you, it's just not going to work out. You got to give away 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 every day. You got to give away as many as you can. That's why the chamber method is so good, because you have 2,000 leads, right? So you have 2,000 super qualified leads that you can give away trials to. Don't give away one and then say, oh, the system is terrible. Don't send one email and say, oh, the email doesn't work. Don't make one phone call and say, oh, the script sucks. If you have 1,000 trials and you have 900 that canceled, we have a problem. Or 190 canceled, we have a problem, right? If you talk to 100 people on the telephone and 95 of them hung up on you, we have a problem with the script, right? But don't judge it off one thing. So again, Jan has a really good point with making it more of an event and more of a scarcity thing with the phone call to the decision maker when we're onboarding them. That's true. But even if we did that, what you guys have to understand is that no matter what we do, there are going to be a certain percentage of people that aren't going to answer the phone. They're not going to talk to us. They're going to say no when we call them. They're going to give us a hard time. That's just going to happen. No matter how good or perfect we try to make the onboarding process, some people are not going to onboard. That's just the way business works. So the solution to that is to just give away more free trials. That's really the solution. Do you close 10 accounts per month for us for the 147? Yes.
97 for this group.
Yeah. Kai or Key, I think that is. All right, so I'm just going through. Ernest says, there is a loud argument. Who is listening? Only the neighbors.
I like Ernest.
Kai says, are these guys arguing on my time? I think that was actually, we weren't really arguing. I think that was actually some good training and some good, there was some good advice in there too that you guys can take from both, all three of us. Kent was giving some good little nuggets in there as well. I mean, Kent gave you guys better advice than any of us gave you the whole entire time by saying, I went to a tire shop, bought tires, and while I was exchanging currency with the tire guy, I pitched him on the thing, and he admitted himself, I'm not beating him up, I'm not saying anything about it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just pitched it to him, and the guy said yes. That was probably the best advice of the night. Go do that. Tomorrow when you go get your haircut or whatever, pitch your barber. Show him what you got. That's what Kent did, and he didn't know what he was doing. He said it himself. He didn't know the product or the service that well. He was just getting started, and he went out there. He said, you know what, I'm buying tires. Let me show the guy what I got. He knew the owner. He went in there. He did it, and he got the deal done. It didn't work out in the end, but he got the free trial done. That's a great first step, in my opinion.
I agree.
All right. I think those are pretty much all the questions that we got.
All right.
Anyone else have any other? We still have 79 people on here. It's amazing. Sanjay says he's facing internet problems. He's going to send his queries through email. Okay, that's cool. Anyone else have any quick questions you guys want to say before we head out? You can write them in the box. Like I promise, always, we answer every question that comes in, no matter what it is. We answer every question that comes in, handle every problem that comes in, and try to make everybody happy as best we can. So if you have anything quick, you can write it in the box. If not, we can end it there. Scott, anything else?
Not that I can think of. I'm just very grateful for everyone who came, and I hope you guys understand how committed we are. We're the only one of two groups that I'm aware of on the internet right now where we have put ourselves in a position where we can only make money if you do. And I'm aware of one other program that does something kind of similar, but is not really got nearly what we do for our members. If you're waiting on the guys that are sending you the emails every day to help you out as much as we're trying to, it's going to be a long winter.
Hey, Debbie, can you retype your question? Because you said did you ever answer my question about Chambered? But I don't see the question in here. So
I think he was saying something is, what is Chamber different than Giveaway Masters, Kenny?
Oh, it's completely different. I mean, first of all, we offer you the tool in Giveaway Masters, which is the most valuable thing we can offer you. We also offer the done for you sales and done for you fulfillment with Giveaway Masters, and there's also a lot of other training in there. And believe it or not, the Chamber method training inside of Giveaway Masters is similar to Chambered. It's just 1 hour long video of me and Scott talking to each other. We literally just went on a Zoom call and we were like, let's just do this now. We just hit record and started talking. It's similar, but we go into a couple of different angles that weren't covered in Chambered, not purposely, but just because we were just kind of talking and they just came up as we were talking. So, one of those, for example, Debbie, is like during that video, I'm randomly scrolling around the map, just showing you guys how every Chamber of Commerce needs what we have. That's something that I didn't really show in Chamber, not because I was trying to hold anything back. It was just because I didn't think to do it, and we just did it on the call live. So completely different program. They work well together. The Chambered on Warrior Plus is more about selling an upfront document for a set fee and then adding something on the back end of it, whether that's consulting or coaching or something like software tool like we have in Giveaway Masters, or something else, whatever it is you want to do, SEO, whatever it is. Adding something on the back end of it. That's kind of what I teach in that. So can we buy more accounts than 10? Yes. We only sell accounts in blocks of 10, and they are $147 each for 10. That's kind of what they are. So it's the best way to explain it is $14.70 an account, and then you charge $97 a month for that account. So the wholesale is $14.70. The retail is $97. Will there be a replay? Yes, there will be. My computer is overheated. Can you show how to get this product one more time? Yeah, you click the button on the side of the screen if you want to get involved. Basically, this is an NRS game. I don't know what that means, Damien. If you want to explain that more, you can. And I'll answer it the best I can, or I'll tell you I don't know the answer. I missed the beginning. That's why I asked if there'll be a replay. A replay of the first part would be great for me. Yes, there will be a replay. I'll mail it out tomorrow to everybody. Hope this will help me by getting freedom. I'll check in tonight, going to my 9-to-5 job. All right, Sanjay, welcome aboard, man. Thanks for coming on.
And let us know how we can help.
Yeah, if we can help you in any way, man, we're here. Like I said, we do calls on Monday mornings at 11 for mainly sales stuff. And we do the Thursday night calls for teaching you guys the onboarding form and the back office stuff and all that.
97, Debbie, and after 60 days, we give you guys a 60-day grace period.
Tamra, hey, Kenny, you mentioned in our Facebook group, if you use a video and email to show companies where they are and what you can do for them, and 10 a day, you'd have many clients on board. First, do you send this as the first email to them? Second, what content do you put in the video to do this effectively? Voiceover of you talking, or just words or slides? Okay, so let me see. Just give me a second, and I'm going to answer that question for you the best I possibly can. Let me just do something real quick here for a second. Use Fire Shops, because that was the argument that we had before. That was the thing that Kent was doing, so we'll use that as an example. Okay, so I'm just trying to, I'm going to do this for you live on this call, and I'm going to show you an example of exactly how I would go about doing this. Okay, so let's see if you can see my entire desktop now. You should be able to see it, I think, right? Okay, so the question is, if you're going to make a video for somebody and you're going to send it to them, what would you say and how would you do it? So what I would say is, let's say the target is JC Tire Sales, right? Because Southampton Tire has 37 reviews and they're a 4.4 star, so that's really good, right? So what I would do is I would make a video, and I would first off, I would try to find out the owner of this company in some way, shape, or form. If you're in a chamber with them, you'll probably know that. If you're not, then you may have to do some digging to figure that out. But I'm going to go here and I'm going to see if I could find out any information about the, let me hide that, about the person or the owner, or I may just call and ask them what the owner's name is. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just, call and pitch the guy. But whatever it is, if I can't find out the owner's name, what I'll do is I'll just make a generic video like this. Let me just get back to the screen. What I would do is I would just make a very generic video. This is really freaking slow. That was it, JC Tires. Okay, there we go. So I'd make a very generic video by just saying, I'm just giving you guys a short video here, just kind of showing you that this is what people see when they search for you online and they look up for a tire shop in, on the South Fork in like the Southampton area. So they're going to see Southampton Tire, and then they're going to see JC Tire Sales. Now, if you see, you guys are rated at a 3.4. Southampton Tire is a 4.4. You have 5 reviews. They have 37. So if you were looking to get your tires done, which one of these two would you choose? Or would you even go with maybe even Firestone, which is below you guys, right? So which one of those 3 would you choose? The obvious answer is either this one or this one. Definitely not going to go to Mavis, right? Because they got really bad reviews. But you're either going to go to Southampton Tire or Firestone. You're definitely not going to go to your shop, though, based on the reviews. So what I wanted to do for you guys after looking at your website and doing some research is I would like to try my best to turn this 3.4 into a 4.4 like Southampton Tire, and turn this 5 into probably a 40 or a 50. And I'm willing to do that for you completely for free with no strings attached for the next 30 days. So if that's something that you might be interested in, give me a call back at this number, or just reply back to this email with a link to your logo, and we'll schedule a time to talk and we'll get it started. So that's totally off the cuff, and if I scripted it out a little bit better, it would probably be better, but those are the main points that I'm going to get across. It's very similar to what I would do in person or on the telephone. It's just, which one would you choose, right? Yours is pretty bad. Let's bring you from here to here, or even better, in the next 30 days, and we'll do it for free. So what I was saying, I think this was last night actually, but what I was saying was, if you did that 10 times a day to qualified prospects, like this is a perfect example of actually a qualified prospect for this. If you did that 10 or so times a day, you're going to have a ton of clients. You're going to have a ton of free trials coming in, because, it's a super qualified lead and it's a super personalized email. You're making a video showing them what the problem is. So again, if you're going to do cold emailing, that would be the way to do it. I don't think it's the best way to prospect, but if you're going to do cold emailing, that would be the only way that I would do any kind of cold emailing. All right, so let's go back to that, and let's just see if there's any other questions in here. I hope that I think that was Debbie that asked that question. Hope that helped. Just came online. I recently bought the chamber program. Yeah, Partha, you're about 4 hours too late, but sorry. There will be a replay though. We're going to be sending it out tomorrow. Is this about finding local businesses because I'm from the outside the U.S.?
No, we're in, I think, 8 countries right now. Yeah,
we're worldwide. But to be honest with you, Partha, so I don't confuse you, probably best just to watch he just came on, so it's probably best to just watch the replay.
Yes.
Because you're going to be completely lost with what we're talking about right now, to be honest with you. Damien says it's a numbers game. agree and disagree. It's a numbers game in the beginning, I guess. You play that game because you don't have the skill, but sales is a skills game. It's not a numbers game. You know, and I'm going to say this now every time I speak to anybody, but I'm not beating you up. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not trying to be hard on you. But the bottom line is that if you had 100 contacts and I had 100 contacts, I would close more of those contacts than you would. It's because I have more skill than you because I've been doing it for a very, very long time, and I was trained by the best salespeople in the world. It's not because I'm a better person. It's just because I've been doing it for such a long time, and I do it every day. So yes, the numbers do play a role. So if you're brand new and, you know, Scott makes 10 calls, Scott's a great salesperson. Scott makes 10 calls in a day, and you say, you know what, I'm not as good as Scott, but screw him. I'm going to make 200 calls. You'll probably make more sales than him because you're playing the numbers, right? But over the course of time, if you compare apples to apples, if Scott makes 10 and you make 10, Scott's going to beat you because he's more skilled than you are, right? And I'm talking about someone who's brand new at sales. So yes, it's a numbers game, and you can play those numbers. You can use those numbers to advantage. But at the end of the day, sales is it's a skill. It's not just playing numbers. It's not like just going to a casino and running a slot machine. It's different than that. It is a skill game. So, got to put my hiney in the bed. I look forward to the replay and the training. All right, Debbie. Good night.
Good night.
Damien, thanks for answering. You're welcome. We answer every question that comes in. All right, guys. So if there's any other, I guess that's it, right? Scott, we answered pretty much everything. Went on an hour-long tirade with Kent, which I thought was really great content. Actually, I kind of liked it. I wish we had one of them in every call. Makes it fun, makes it interesting. All right, so that is it for tonight. If you guys have any other questions you need to follow up with us, you can just reach us at our support email. You can go to kennycountysuccess.com/discount, or you click the button on the side of the screen to get involved. $497 and then $147 after 60 days for us to close and fulfill 10 accounts for you. You don't have to worry about that for the first 60 days, though. It is free for the first 60 days. And whatever is listed on the page is still available. So please don't ask me if any of this stuff is available. Everything that's listed there is available. Everything that's listed there is something that you will get. So that is all for tonight. Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you took something out of the training. And I hope to see all of you guys in the members area and on the calls on